Yep. Gotta start with a cough, right? Or a clearing of the throat. Ding ding, let's go. Yeah. So, just had this thought pop up, sort of tongue-in-cheek, where it's like, reflecting, I'm like, whoops, I accidentally am living a perfect life. Yeah, I know. Again, tongue-in-cheek, again, without context, it sounds really schmaltzy and nonsensical. So, I'm going to attempt to explain it in words. Here we go. So, when I started, and just to kind of lay out the chain of events in this video, I'm going to talk about my personal chronology, and then I'm going to connect it with the universal, how you can relate to it and how you can essentially reap benefits from this information, right? Because, yeah, I'm sure there are enough videos of content all over the internet of just people talking about themselves, and it's just like, why should I care? You're just talking about yourself. What does this have to do with me? Honestly. And it's not like even like a selfish thing. Like, I totally get it. Like, it's not even like a if you're not, patting me on the back and feeding me grapes and, using a big fan, like I'm a Greek god or something, keeping me pleased at all times and then be gone with you. I know it's not like that. At least not for the most part. So, because I know that everyone's time is valuable, right? That's the universality to it. Like, everyone's time is valuable, so I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. So, as a result, this content, and all other content, I can only speak for myself, but this content right here, and all other content that I'm contenting, that I'm releasing, publishing, etc., that's my aim. To not waste your time and to blast you with inspiration so that you can absorb that inspiration and live an awesome life. Let's go. So, in terms of accidentally living a perfect life and how you can do it too. So, for me, it was like, I took on a job in childcare in 2014, and just as a job, I'm like, yeah, we'll roll the dice, it's worth a shot. Cool. And ended up loving it, even though there was a bunch of turmoil and a bunch of nonsense and a bunch of like messy just situations. Mentally, emotionally, physically, just messy, hellish at times, but other times heavenly. Like, it's been a wild ride, and I'm still riding it. Childcare and assistant teaching, which is being in the thick of it, right? Just explosions, mental, emotional, physical, just turmoil at a moment's notice, right? It can go from really calm to really messy really quick. And to not only just end up being cool with it, putting up with it, but seeing all the advantages that it gives to me, but like to anyone that like sticks with it. So let's tie it back into, or this will be the first node of universality, that something that you can take home node, sure. Of sticking with something when there's just an inkling, when there's just a little tiny morsel, a little tiny breadcrumb of you saying to yourself, you feeling to yourself, like, this situation, this job, this relationship, this whatever, is ridiculous in some ways, but I feel the need to stick with it. I feel like there's something here. And then beyond this now, maybe something in the future, there's something more that I feel may be coming. Interesting. Right? So like, living out like a really crazy situation, again, relationship or job or whatever. And you're like, I feel like I need to stick with it for some reason. And I will tell you, let's just use a, romantic relationship, partnership relationship as an example, because I've experienced to small extents, and I've had friends and family who have, had partnership relationships that, were tumultuous, up and down, just, from wild to calm and everything all over again. And then it ended, and the friend or family member was just a wreck, after the fact, and maybe feeling guilty or sad or angry, etc. And in these situations and in life situations, another take-home universality node right here for us is however long it takes in terms of us going from mentally, emotionally a wreck to back to a form of neutrality after this blowout in a relationship or anything else. However long it takes to go from being a wreck back to a point of neutrality, and then ideally from neutrality to a gentle, authentic form of simple, natural optimism. Nothing too crazy, nothing too manic, but just like, life is cool. Life is cool. Cool. Right? Like that type of stuff. It is possible. I can't really say anything beyond that because I don't want to come off as crass or unrealistic or insensitive or anything like that. Because it's just like, F around and find out at the end of the day, right? F around and find out. But just as, maybe permission, affirmation if you need it, like that type of thing. Permission or affirmation if you need it. This concept of you don't have to be a wreck forever. You don't have to be a wreck even right now if you are. You can go. You can go from being a wreck to neutrality to gentle, genuine optimism. It can happen. It may take a little time and a little bit of rest and contemplation and just acceptance, but it's possible. Just plain and simple. I don't need to go into anything beyond that. F around and find out, honestly. So, back to my chronology with more universality for take-home nuggets for you, is essentially, I took on childcare as just a job. And then I started to understand that, wow, if I'm sticking with this, it's actually helping me mentally, emotionally, soulfully mature. Oh, wow. Okay. But but I'm telling to you that I was in and out of that realization over the years where it was like, this job is exactly for me. And then going to low points of like, all right, I think I need to go another direction and quit and do something else. Right? But just the fact that even in those low points, there were small, still, peaceful voices of, you do exactly what you need to do. That's fine. You can leave this job. And in short-term scenarios, I did leave childcare and education and then have come back to it. Right? Like, but interestingly, it was just like somewhat temporarily, I'm just doing other jobs, and then I'm like, really? Like, do I really need to go back? Just like consulting the heart and soul, the intuition. I'm just like, wow. Actually, I'm surprised I need to go back. So, going back, but just the take-home message here, the universality take-home nugget right here is that little, still, small voice. That peaceful, nudging voice that is your true you, your inner child, your inner I, your heart and soul. It knows. And the more that you listen to it, the more that you're living a life that's exactly designed for you. And it's crazy how, like, religions talk about this, where it's like surrendering to the will of the divine. And at the end of the day, they're right in a sense, and then in another sense, why complicate things? Why muddy the waters when it's just like, because you can get with this even as an atheist, where you're like, if I listen to myself, my true self, whether or not I'm claiming that's connected to this God, this all that is, or not, if I'm just saying, all right, I'm feeling this connection, and if I'm acting upon it, if I'm listening to it, wow, I'm actually getting closer and closer to a life that I feel is like actually real and actually true and actually my own, right? It becomes it feels like a grand irony, especially if you're like in religion or spiritual or kind of in between or whatever. It's just like this concept of surrender. I can speak personally, maybe you relate to. This concept of surrender always kind of rubbed me the wrong way, where it's like, surrender? Like, I want to do me, I want to live me. You know, like, I want to live my life. I don't want to, like, surrender to some sort of, like, cosmic will and just, like, give my life up. The grand irony is that the more that you listen to yourself and go your own way, so to speak, I'm putting all that in air quotes, the more that you go your own way, but actually, like, go into the funnel of honing in on the contemplations, the meditations of, well, who am I? Well, what is this? What do I truly want and need? Right? As you're doing that honing, that funneling, the surrender kind of just happens. The honing in and the surrendering it's synonymous. You're just, all right, cool. The more that I'm listening to this true voice that is me, that is God perhaps, this true voice that I feel like is what I actually am, what I actually need, the more that I listen to it, the more seemingly perfect that my life gets. Right? So, we can leave it at that. I'll probably have something pop up in the next minute or so, but it's exactly this. It's exactly what we're actually looking for. Oh, what is the meaning of life? Well, if we zoom in to a certain point where we're not too concerned about what's going on beyond this individual, this I, because another grand irony that you don't have to believe me, F around and find out, is that the more that we focus on the I, the true I, the more that life just gets better, the less stress, the less we feel the need to control and put a stranglehold on people, on places, on life in general. It's like, oh, well, I feel like I'm attuned, I feel like I'm aligned, I feel like I'm in coherence, in harmony, in concert, with myself, and I'm just giving out the best of me in every moment. Yeah, easier said than done, but this is kind of like the summarized idealism of it all, right? It's like we're human, we come in waves, ebbs and flows, whatever. But we just do this. The more we hone in, the more we funnel in, the more we make it happen. And the more we're in that space, the more all of this like muck and nonsense and stuff that is not needed kind of like falls away, kind of falls off, right? You imagine a sphere, it's just like falling off, just like the mud drying up and just crackling and just falling off. So that the purity of the I, it just is. And it was just waiting for our arrival, waiting for our attention, and then waiting for the sustained attention so that the purity could make itself happen, right? Where it's like, it gets kind of unknown, it gets kind of mysterious. It's like whether or not we, when we're in this, whether we are actually doing the work or just the presence, the attention, the acknowledgement, the just being in this space, this honing space, whether or not we're like doing something or whether or not it's being done, I don't know. But just the fact that it's happening. Just the fact that it's happening is beautiful and it's amazing. And in summary, that's how you can get to a point where you can authentically, humbly, just genuinely, sincerely remark to yourself like, oops, I've seemingly accidentally fallen and am living in a perfect life. Perfect subjective to the I. But everything beyond the I, it either gets done or doesn't get done. And to be so solidified and purified in the I, things get done or they don't get done. And we know that we're doing our best. We know that we're going at our pace, what is most natural and real and true for us, and we're just making it happen. So whether something gets done or doesn't get done, or gets resolved or doesn't get resolved, or gets seemingly better or seemingly worse temporarily, it's kind of like, well, I'm doing my thing. I'm following my heart and soul, so it's good enough. It's good enough. I feel perfect in the now and becoming more clear and more expanded as time goes on. And time is a beautiful thing because it allows us to track our quote-unquote progress, our clarification, our expansion, to reflect, to envision for the future, to be in the now, to just have it all right here, right now, simultaneously, past, present, future, and be like, wow, what a life. It's pretty freaking awesome. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. As I like to do in the videos, with respect, much respect to you, much respect to us for making this all happen, to living in this multi-layered, multifaceted, dare I say multi-dimensional existence. All the layers of the self, mind, body, emotions, heart and soul, all the layers of the physical realm, water, air, earth, fire, ether, food, water, air, shelter, people, places, things. This multi-dimensional existential playground, it's pretty wild. Much respect to us, much respect to all of it, all these gifts. And let's play, baby. Right? Alright, this is Mr. Mike. Catch you later.